the day the cows got after us. It was the summer of 1975. The air was thick with honeysuckle and the lazy hum of cicadas. My mother and her sister, my Aunt Ursula, were swapping stories about the old home place they'd grown up in. It had been years, maybe decades, since they'd last laid eyes on it. One of them asked the question that always leads to adventure. I wonder if it's still standing? Well, that was all it took. The next morning, we loaded up the car. Along for the ride were myself and my little niece, who was staying with us at the time. We didn't pack maps or make plans. We were on a memory hunt. The roads twisted and turned like old thoughts, winding us deeper into rural Virginia. When the car could go no farther, we set out on foot through field after field of farmland, our shoes kicking up dust from generations past, crossing fences, probably trespassing lands. Finally, there it was, the old Cox home. Still standing, though barely. A shack, really. Weathered boards, sagging frame. I tried to picture a whole family raised inside that one-room box. Hard to imagine. Yet that place had held laughter, supper tables, prayers by candlelight, and the sound of rain on a tin roof. Beneath the old structure, I found them, old mason jars, worn and clouded with time. Ghosts of a bygone kitchen. My mother and aunt stood in silence for a while, speaking in fragments, names, smells, memories. The past had come back for a visit. But the present wasn't far behind. As we made our way back through the pasture, we noticed a herd of cows off to the side. At first, they just stared. Then they began to move slowly, deliberately mooing like they were raising the alarm. Trespassers, they seemed to say. You don't belong here. At first, we chuckled. Then we walked faster. Then ran. We could hear the thundering hooves behind us, feel the tension. By the time we reached the fence, we flung ourselves over it like Olympic athletes fueled by fear and laughter. Hearts pounding, eyes wide, we stood there on the safe side, alive and giddy. It was terrifying, hilarious, and unforgettable. Years passed. Just yesterday, I drove past that very place. The fields are gone now, paved over with cul-de-sacs, garden flags, and mailboxes. A subdivision stands where the shack once did. But every time I pass it, I remember that day. The old house, the mason jars, the look on my aunt's face when the cows charged, and the joy of remembering we once belonged to a time and place that no longer exists. Mama says that place was called Hoot Owl, and what a hoot it was that day in the summer of 1975. Time changes the land, but it cannot uproot memory. Sometimes the smallest moments, the laughter, the danger, the sound of hoofbeats behind you become the treasures we carry longest. And every now and then, a herd of cows will remind you just how alive you really were. Eugene Mathena.